This is the official podcast for the Adelaide Football Club.
Well, Crows fans, we're back. We've been in a hiatus, a 3-week hiatus. Dangerfield has gone missing, but he's back for the People's Podcast. Welcome back, mate.
Back. Great to be back, Jock. Disappointing we haven't been on Channel Crow for, 3 weeks, Kat?
Just building up the suspense, trying to get a bit more enthusiasm back into the podcast.
Exactly. We really needed to take a long, hard look at ourselves, and it's taken 3 weeks to do that. Finally, we've got the man who can actually put the podcast together back at AFC, and we can kick on with things.
Now, mate, over the short break that we've had from the podcast, you've become Spider-Man. Run us through it.
Yep, it was great. Last night, I went to bed, everything was fine. Woke up in the morning with a thumping headache and a little bite on my cheek, which has ended up with some subsequent swelling, and unfortunately, I've got a little bit of a spider bite on my face. So when I'm flying for a mark this week and all of a sudden I have a shoot, like a web flies out of my wrist and I suck the ball back in, you'll know it's been probably a
so you have nice clean hands on the weekend.
Oh, they'll be incredible.
Taking
clean.
Everything.
James Hurd-esque.
Well, spider bites aside, there have been a few games the past few weeks while we've been in hiatus as well. A couple of maybe down quarters in those 3 weeks against the Saints, Richmond and Port. But the second half against Port,
Saints,
Paddy.
Richmond, Port. Saints, tick.
Yep.
Win. Port, tick. Win. Who else did we play?
North.
Richmond.
North, cross. Wasn't a great game. Richmond mentioned.
Second half tick.
Second half tick. Port, 4 quarters tick.
Yep.
So we're going the right way, Jock, at least. We had a couple of down weeks, but we're back on the straight and narrow.
And another
some good footy.
Big tough month ahead. With who we got? We got Sydney, not Greater Western Sydney.
GW, we got Phil's Mob. Phil's Mob is back, and they played some good footy against us last time. Watching their form this season, whenever it's rained, I reckon you'll find they'll be within 3 years. They'll be the best wet weather side in the competition because their pre-season is basically through torrential rain for the better part of 3 months. So they're a very good wet weather side, and they've got really good contested football elements to the game, and they'll be a bit of a challenge this week, I think, because I'll be disappointed with how they played last week.
Sando revealed, I think, during the week that
he did.
The biggest spray that he's given you blokes all year came at half-time of the GWS match.
He was very scary. Everyone sees the smiling Sando, the smiling assassin, but he was not happy that game, and I can recall very well.
So you'll be looking for a fast start this week.
We don't want to do that again because Sando's scary side, he's very scary.
You mentioned your man Phil Davis. Good stat came up earlier. Not so good for Phil. Tough in the GWS defence. They got beaten by 160 odd points last week. He's conceded more goals than any player in the comp.
I know, and I can't wait to tell him. I hope he normally
tunes in.
He normally tunes in to the People's Podcast.
Hi, Phil,
and has a listen because obviously he was a host last season. But I cannot wait to call him tonight, Kat, and just discuss with him, just how to refine his defending technique because he won't be happy with that statistic.
I'm sure he'll be appreciative of your help.
Now, speaking of goals, mate, we've got a bit of a new look forward line. We had Timmy Mack come in last week for his first game, and he got a sausage roll with his first kick.
First kick in the AFL, first goal. So joins the illustrious club of about 4,825. Because I did the same thing, Jock. First kick, first goal. So yeah, only 4,825 people have done that. But it was a great effort from Timmy, and he looked very lively as a forward pocket.
He did. We love Timmy's footy skills, but off the field, he's a bit of a handyman. You considered getting him around to do a little bit of work around the Dangerfield residence?
I am. I want him to put in a new door. Yeah, a new front door. I've got the Italian mansion. It looks rather terrible, to be honest. Got the big Italian double front doors, and it's somewhat dated. So I think it's time for a handyman to come around, and I think Timmy's the man. So
you'll be looking for some sort of cast iron castle sort of set up in your danger.
Yeah, I need him to get rid of my porcelain tigers out the front of the house. So no, I need him to put some new front doors in. So he's a carpenter, so fully qualified Jock.
Now, mate, you spent a bit bit of a session up forward as well on the weekend and kicked a pretty impressive goal from the boundary line. Run us through that one.
Well, renamed.
Well, the facts are, Jock, Hendo and myself kicked 7 between us as the key forwards. He might have kicked 6 and I kicked 1, but we kicked 7 between us. So it wasn't who looked forward line, and without Shawnee Mack obviously breaking his jaw, he's had incredibly bad luck, Kat.
He has
obviously broken several mirrors and or even driven his car into a mirror shop, but with him and Tipper going down, which was disappointing, it was great to see Hendo fire up and play some good footy. And Brody Martin, who I think Sando said it after the game, he hadn't played forward since under 17s at Sturt, and he
could have had 5 in the end.
So he looked really impressive, and I suppose it gives us confidence going into games that if we do lose a couple of key forwards, that we can still get the result. So the boys are very happy. And
now I reckon one of the bigger clashes is sort of like a mini match-up within this big match-up against GWS is Jeremy Cameron versus Daniel Talia. Could we see
the battle of the rising stars? I think, Jock.
Of course, Cameron got off of that charge that he had earlier in the week, so he is still eligible. They offered him a reprimand which would have made him ineligible, but he thought, scrap that, I'm going to the tribunal, I'm challenging. It was an open hand. He's in the race. He challenged it, got it overturned, and he's back in the race.
So do you think Sando will allow that match-up to happen?
Surely.
So that we can all watch on?
Bit of theatre, Sando.
Well, I never think, I suppose with the defence the way it is, they'll have a player which they'll spend time on, but a lot of the time you roll around a bit, so I'm sure they'll spend time on each other at some point during the game, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Presty BG himself
Presty
up for this
Jr.
one.
Oh, he's been selling a bit of candy lately though, Jock. I tell you what, might be opening a shop over at Westlakes, because he's not just he's not just a dour defender.
No, he's giving off assists as well.
A little bit disappointed in
giving one off to Hendo.
Oh, I know. He should have kicked a barrel from 60, shouldn't he? Anyways.
All right, time for our favourite segment, our one and only segment, Ask Danger, which also apologies to people who have sent in questions for the podcasts that didn't make it to air.
They've been building up.
So we'll start again. Eddie White would like to know, do you have any allergies, intolerances, apart from spiders now?
Spiders.
I heard radar is gluten intolerant.
I tend to turn into Spider-Man when bitten, so...
Not necessarily.
Codeine.
Oh.
No, that's about it.
Codeine.
Yep.
Because radar is gluten intolerant, so you sort out your diet around radar.
Yep. No, we've... Bloody radar, fair dinkum. We come in for lunch. We've got lunch provided twice a week, Jock, and... gluten-free meals, there's radar. And, pathetic, really.
I think it's still a pretty good spread, isn't it, really?
Very, very
chicken,
good.
prosciutto wrapped chicken with feta and sun-dried tomato last week. Does a good job.
Phenomenal.
Reese Wood would like to know, and this, you're a good man to ask, what are your impressions of the great man Brad Crouch?
Oh.
You do a bit of work with Westies?
Yes, on a Wednesday night, Jock, down at the Bloods. No, he's going to be a very, very good player, Crouch. He's really strong. He's testing in the gym. He's been as good as anyone, basically, that's ever come to the club as an 18-year-old, and he's benching about 120, which is what I bench, and I've been here for 5 years.
He doesn't look that big, does he? But he's obviously got that natural
big country
strength.
boy.
Yeah, he's got broad shoulders, and he's got real power. He's got good speed. He kicks the ball well, so he's going to be someone for us next year that's certainly going to play AFL footy, and he's going to be an exciting prospect for us.
Now we got one here from Bill Ford. Patrick, what are some of the teams you support in the US? I presume he's talking about all the different US sports.
Yes. Well, I don't follow too many, Jock.
You don't?
No, I'm a Knicks fan and a Miami Heat fan.
Yeah?
Just jumped on the bandwagon.
Who are your favourite players?
Well, Ginobili.
Yep.
But he doesn't play for either of those sides. I don't know who he plays for. I just like his name, Ginobili. LeBron.
LeBron. Can't go past him.
Yeah.
Goes alright.
You got to love Kobe. Just get the ball in his hands when the game's in the line, Jock.
Yep.
So those two teams I follow a little bit in the NBAs, but that's about it, really. I'm quite boring, my NBA sport.
Fair enough. Each to their own.
Very nice. And of course this week the trip to Western Sydney, Parramatta on the Saturday night.
Yes.
Very much looking forward to. First run at Skoda.
First run at Skoda, and the big tip will be back.
Oh, you heard it here first.
The big tip will be back because he was kicking goals today, and
it's a big cold.
Well, Paddy, It's not going to come that easily this weekend. A lot of people talking up percentage, but you've just got to go up and get the win first of all.
No, get the wing job. No, they're very contested. They play a very contested style of footy, one on one. They're almost like I suppose a mini Sydney Swans in the way they play. They're really good at the contested side of footy. They always tackle a lot, and that's something that we've needed to improve on because our tackle numbers haven't been great. So we'll look to do that this weekend, and if we play consistent footy, then I'm confident we'll come away with a win.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for coming back. It's good to have you back here.
We'll be back next week as well, Doc. We're back on the straight and narrow, and we'll be back next week.
All right, we'll remind you of that at Wednesday, 4 o'clock.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to the official podcast of the Adelaide Football Club.